Today's talk is that we're moving on with our explorers unit, and we're going to look at a set of explorers from Spain. So the Spanish explorers were a group of explorers known as conquistadors. Now these conquistadors were Spanish soldiers, and they explored and they conquered Native Americans in Mexico and in South America. And we're going to talk about two in particular. We're going to look at these guys deeply because they conquered and wiped out two very large Native American groups. So we have, first off, we have Hernan Cortez. And Hernan Cortez, and I'll just refer to him as Cortez from now on, he explored Mexico and he was looking for gold. He was looking for money and riches. One of the reasons people explore that we talked about in a previous video. And he conquered and wiped out the Aztec people. We'll look more at the Aztec people and what type of people they were in class a little bit more in depth. And then we have Francisco Pizarro. And Francisco Pizarro, he explored South America. And he was searching for the same things, gold and fame. And what he found down there were the Incas, the Incan people. And what happened was he ended up conquering them and wiping them out. There's some other notable Spanish explorers that we'll just touch on briefly. And first we have Juan Ponce de Leon. He explored and named Florida. And it's rumored that at some point in all of his explorations, he was looking for the Fountain of Youth. Next we have Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca. He explored the area that was known as Texas. As he was exploring, leaving from the West Indies in the Bahamas or the Haiti and Dominican Republic area that had colonies, he sailed into the Gulf of Mexico, and what happened was he became shipwrecked. And when he was shipwrecked there, he had to, explore and find other ways to get home. And then we have Hernando de Soto. He explored the southwest of the United States. He was the first European to ever reach the Mississippi River. One of the things that contributed to these Native American populations being completely wiped out were some deadly diseases. The conquistadors had come over here, and whether they had the disease themselves or someone in their exploration party had it, these diseases were not familiar to the Native Americans. They didn't have antibodies built up in them to fight off the infections. There was no such thing as flu shots back then. So when these diseases were introduced to the Native American people, they were new. Their bodies didn't know how to handle them. So what happened was, especially one in particular, smallpox, ended up killing many of these Native Americans, wiping out almost 90% in some estimates. So diseases were a huge reason why these empires like the Aztec and the Incan Empire were completely eradicated.